Hi, welcome to another edition of BC in 3D. I did not have anything particular in mind this week, therefore the kind of delay in this video. But I did see a movie last week, and so it's that I would like to talk about. Now, 2014 had about 44 3D films released to theaters, of which only about 9 of them were filmed in native 3D. The other ones were converted, or they were animated. Things like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Transformers, Age of Extinction, X-Men, Days of Future Past, The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. The two lesser ones like Legend of Hercules, Pompeii, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, and Goodbye to Language, which is actually a little independent film. It's worthy of note though, because as soon as it gets released next month on tax day, all of these native 3D films will be available through to order, and so that's kind of cool. The one I didn't mention though is a biblical epic by Ridley Scott. It's called Exodus, Gods and Kings. There have been several movies that were released in 2014, biblical based, things like God's Not Dead, Heaven is for Real, Noah, starring Russell Crowe. It was actually filmed and then converted to 3D, but not for people in the United States to see. It was overseas released and converted 3D. And then we have Exodus, which is native 3D, and so it's Christian Bale, Joe Edgerton as the Pharaoh, Sigourney Weaver stars as the Pharaoh's wife, and it's probably the best technically filmed biblical epic ever to come out. Of course, I didn't see Noah, to be fair, but the fact that this is filmed in native 3D, it looks great. It is one that you'll want to have on your shelves, actually, just because of it's a good looking film. To be fair though, this movie only got a 26 to 28 percentile on Rotten Tomatoes, and the reason why it got that is because Ridley Scott seems to be on the fence with this movie. He doesn't know whether to make something that totally throws away biblical the Bible, or actually make something that is a irreverent epic. I don't want to be giving out any spoilers with this film, but I don't think these details will exactly spoil it for you, just to let people know on what they might have a problem with. This movie, even though it's 2.5 hours long, it goes along at a pretty good clip. Things change pretty regularly, and that's pretty good news for it. Once Moses' heritage is found out, he's actually banished from Egypt, and well, he's banished from the city, and there he goes. He basically goes on a trek, and he lands in the camp where he meets his wife Zipporah, and they marry. They have a son, and then he goes out on a mountain because he kind of doubts that God is on the mountain, and so he goes out on the mountain where he gets pushed down by a rock slide and sees the burning bush while he's covered in this mud, and it's illustrated as something of a dream state, and it is the first time that we see this child who's supposed to be representing the voice of God, or the messenger of God, which is the reason why they call him Malak. When they first started going into the commentary for this movie, I thought they said Molech, and so it's like, ooh, that's going to torque off a lot of people. No, it's Malak. It's a word that means messenger. It's suggesting that perhaps this child is bringing the voice of God, with him being an angel of God. This kid is actually a wonderful actor. I kind of wish that George Lucas would have hired a kid like this for the role of Anakin. If you watch this movie, watch the watch the kid's performance, and when he gets angry or whatever, and just ask yourself, wouldn't this kid have made a great young Darth Vader? That's all I'm saying with that. Okay, Moses decides to go back to Egypt and see if he can free the people. Moses meets Pharaoh in a stable with a sword, and after that, he only sees him like once or twice in his court. It's actually once in his court, and then when they're about to go. Instead of having him go into the court and challenging the magicians, which the writers felt like Pharaoh wouldn't do that. He wouldn't be convinced by Moses' rod turning into a snake, and then the magician's rods turning into a snake, and then Moses' rod eats up their rods. In fact, Moses doesn't even have a rod in this film. You have to look at his sword like a rod. But instead of going into the courts to try to convince Pharaoh, they engage in basically guerrilla warfare. They get the people in to challenge Pharaoh by blowing up food supplies and stuff like that. So yeah, there it goes way off course, considering what someone might have read here. And then later on, it's like he meets up with Malik again, and Malik basically says, it's not working, is it? Now watch what I can do. And so yeah, it goes, at that point, it goes into the plagues, which are amazing. The initial beginning, I mean, the deleted scenes concerning the plagues shows Moses putting his sword in the water, and then it motivates these crocodiles to come out and attack different fishermen and everything. But the actual movie, it just starts off with the crocodiles. You're going, crocodiles? I don't remember crocodiles being in the Bible. But this is how it all begins. So, and so there's a lot of blood here, and for a PG-13 film, it kind of surprised me the amount of blood that they showed. No dismemberments, but a lot of blood. And what's neat though about it is the way the plagues carry on at that point. The crocodiles, the blood, the frogs, the flies, the locusts, the flies, and it's just it's amazing the way they looked at the plagues relating to each other. One part of the plague led to another plague. Instead of bringing them as a separate event, it's like one naturalistic event. And so that is pretty wild the way it's visualized, and it's actually pretty cool. And of course you have the Red Sea parting. As soon as before we get into Red Sea parting, like I mentioned too, is that Ridley did not want to, for the most part, he didn't try to do things so that it looked like it's happening in a biblical way. But he sounds like he didn't really know what to do as far as the death of the firstborn, and so he basically said, well, we'll just say it as the Bible says it, and then it shows the darkness and the firstborn dying, and so sometimes he's into the Bible as a reference, and sometimes he's into his own artistic merits. After the death of the firstborn, the 400,000 slaves are released. Moses leads them. One other thing I can mention with this is about the Red Sea. Again, Ridley's looking for a way of naturally presenting it, mainly the miracle and the faith, and he doesn't dog faith in any regard in this movie, just to let people know. He shows the Red Sea happening in a way that it could be possible, but the miracle is the fact that it happened when it happened. And the way the Red Sea parts, it looks like it actually could happen. With tsunamis being known to do this very thing, to be able to basically run a river dry and then come in like a flood. And it's amazing when you see it. If you have a 3D Blu-ray player, it's crystal clear, and you see these seagulls flying over this big wave. It is crazy. Exodus, God and Kings. It's it's definitely a worthy addition onto any 3D Blu-ray shelf. This week in 3D. 3D Videos had another video out this week, Leverkusen, Japanese garden. One person who I can imagine being a regular vlogger, his name is Daryl Leary. I guess he even has a couple world records that he likes to mention. But he came out with a new video, My Mom and I. And it's basically him and his family whenever he records something. Maria Jacques came out with another one. It's probably a French pronouncing Suisse or something. I don't know. I don't know French. I apologize. Roger Maddy had 4 more. Basically, Roger Maddy sought to burn paper with magnifying glass in 3D. With Full Speed Ahead, Friday the 13th, Pyromaniacal episode. His problem, magnified burning problem in Black Magic. There is a new 3D guy that we discovered this week. Someone who probably has more 3D videos on his site than anybody. And his name is Hirdov. I've only got a couple select videos shown on the screen because I did notice there was a problem with me putting annotations concerning 3D videos. I mean, if someone watches the 3D videos either cross-eyed or anaglyph or whatever, I had to figure out a way of putting in the annotations. And so I'm only putting in about 5 to 6 videos maximum each time I highlight someone here. But here he does. He puts up a lot of videos. He put up about 24 videos for the week, and he keeps on coming out with more. So he looks at motorcycles, bicycles. He does unboxings, anything that he can film in 3D. Andre Anokin, he came up with about 6 videos. Some of them it looks like it comes out like a place like Marineland. Probably not the 9-foot way he went, but just kind of an amusement park like that with Sea Riders, say prank zoos, ball on the hoop. Sergio Congliano came out with Lario Fier electronic exhibit. It says anaglyph, but it's really for the yt3d interface, can be watched in any 3D thing there. Wolf Berskini is a new one. He doesn't put out very many vids. I just wanted to give him a mention here because he does have a communication with some of the other 3D people on this list. And of course you have mine from last time, where I'd gone to Washington and helped my sister unload and began this series. So I hope everybody has a good day. I'll talk with you later.